Welcome, Planeswalkers. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Tyler.
Today, we're bringing you another installment in Commander Countdowns, the show where we list off our top X favorite cards of a given type. This time, we're going to detail our top 5 favorite blue commanders.
Now remember, these are our personal favorites, so it's a subjective list. But we'd love to hear about what your favorite blue commanders are down in the comments.
Without further ado, let's get started with my 5th favorite blue commander. Emry, Lurker of the Loch, is a 1/2 Merfolk Wizard for 2 and a blue. She costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control, and when she enters the battlefield, you put the top 4 cards of your library into the graveyard. You may tap her and choose an artifact from your graveyard, and you may cast that card this turn. I love self-mill. This is the kind of style of deck that I play in Magic Arena, where you just mill yourself out, and you play a card like Jace, Wielder of Mysteries or Laboratory Maniac, and you intentionally mill yourself out to win the game. Additionally, you can dump a bunch of artifacts into your graveyard, a lot of artifact creatures and artifact good stuffs, and just grab them out of your graveyard whenever you want.
And at the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have my number 5, Abashen, Cephalid Emperor. He's 4 blue for a 3/3 Cephalid Noble. Gain that creature type thanks to Throne of Eldraine. And he has tap and untap Cephalid you control, tap target permanent, and blue, tap all creatures without flying. Listen, I'm going to be straight with you guys. I'm really not much of a blue player. I don't really do the card draw, counterspell, denial type. No. That ain't me. I want to go for some of the weirdest stuff I can find. And to me, Cephalids fit that type. They're a weird creature type. I love weird tribes. He does weird things. The other Cephalids are all weird. I love it, and I've been wanting to make this deck forever, in paper. It's just so much fun. And honestly, at first glance, his abilities might not really be that great. But the more you look at it, being able to tap any permanent just for tapping a Cephalid, or being able to tap down all creatures that don't have flying, and then being able to soar in and just wreck face. He's a major politics card. He's got a fun design, and that's why he's my number 5. Taking the number 4 spot on my list is Kaiga, the Tide Star. For 5 and a blue, you get a 5/5 Dragon Spirit with flying, and whenever he dies, you get to gain control of target creature, as in, permanently. Now look, I realize everything I just said in regards to Cephalids and wanting to play weird cards, but I'm not blind to the kind of power that blue can hold. And Kaiga is definitely one of my favorites when it comes to one of my favorite types of effects, which are mind controls, or thievery. It's why I like to play black. I can steal stuff after it's dead. But with Kaiga, it's kind of in reverse, where rather than killing my opponent's stuff to take it, I just kill my dragon to take it. You play clone effects, you play copy effects, all those die thanks to the legendary rule, and then you get all the triggers. Dealing with a mono blue Kaiga deck is annoying, and that's just one thing I love to be. If I'm not being weird, I'm trying to be annoying. And the weak spot for dragons.
Taking my number 4 spot is Gadwick the Wizened. He's a 3/3 human wizard that costs X blue, and when he enters the battlefield, you draw X cards. When you cast a blue spell, tap target non-land permanent and opponent controls. This is card advantage the deck. I want to take advantage of a lot of enter the battlefield triggers, things that make my wizards cost less, and a lot of draw spells. This is blue good stuffs, because you can just really dig through your deck, get all of your good cards, and just sling spells with your opponents, and almost endlessly, with all the draw effects that you can shove in this deck. My number 3 pick is God Eternal Kefnet. I love the God Eternals, they're just such cool designs. Kefnet is a 4/5 zombie god for 2 blue with flying, and you may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. If you reveal an instant or sorcery this way, copy it, and you may cast the copy for 2 less. This is another really fun spell slinging deck. I want to run a lot of ways to manipulate the top card of my deck. Lots of extra turn spells, spells that steal my opponent's permanents, and just beat them over their heads with their own stuff. Just a lot of card advantage, again, lots of spell slinging. I just really like that in blue.
And while Andrew's number 3 takes to the skies, mine takes to the seas. We've got Nezahal, the Primal Tide, a 7/7 Elder Dinosaur for 5 blue who can't be countered, takes away your maximum hand size, lets you draw a card whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, and has the ability to dive out of harm's way by discarding 3 cards to exile himself until end of turn. I hate counter magic. I absolutely do. It's my least favorite part of blue. So the fact that Nezahal comes with the clause of being unable to be countered makes him it feels so much better being able to sink 7 mana into him. On top of that, he's a big beefy boy. I'm a fan of the 7/7s. Once you get higher than a 6/6, you're officially a favorite in my heart. On top of that, he's just so hard to deal with. You can't deal with him when he's being cast because of his uncounterable clause, and if you try to deal with him when he's already hit the battlefield, well, you're going to be giving your opponent cards because they're going to be able to draw off of whatever kill spell you're trying to hit them with. And on top of that, if he really doesn't want to deal with whatever you're casting, he won't. He'll go diving like Nessie and you won't see him for the rest of the turn. And while I stated before that I have a very, very soft spot for dragons, I have an even bigger soft spot for dinosaurs. And the fact that he's the only blue dinosaur that we have kind of makes him all the sweeter. And speaking of the big burly boys, swimming in at number 2, we have Tromokratis, an 8/8 Kraken who casts for 5 blue. Get this though, he has hexproof unless he's attacking or blocking, which, personally, I love the flavor of. He's a Kraken. He lives in the sea. If he's not coming out of the water to attack you, or taking you on once you've entered the water, you can't see him, you can't hit him. On top of all that, he has to be blocked by all creatures defending player controls. Doesn't matter if they are tapped, it doesn't matter if anything. He doesn't have, if they are able, tacked onto that. It is a hard line. If he cannot be blocked by at least one of the creatures your opponent controls, he can't be blocked, period. And that is just so much fun to build around. Give him any sort of evasion. My favorite is flying, because Tromokratis is huge, and that idea is hilarious to me. And, sorcery speed removal can't touch him because he just goes under the water. He can kill with commander damage just real easily. And Krakens are cool. I feel like that's not, a controversial stance.
My second pick is Jin-Gitaxias Core Augur. He's a 5/4 Praetor for 8 blue. He has Flash, and on your end step, you draw 7 cards, and your opponent's max hand size is reduced by 7. Your friends will hate you if you play this card. I love Jin-Gitaxias so much. I don't really care for the other Praetors, but he's the main reason I want to go back to Mirrodin, or New Phyrexia as it's called. He's just such a cool, creepy design. I love him so much. He draws you a lot of cards, more card advantage, which is par for the course for blue, and you just don't let your opponents play the game. You just Cyclonic Rift their board away, make sure that they have to discard their hand every turn. Just don't let them play the game. That's Jin-Gitaxias' game. Now on to my final pick, Exodia. Atemsis, All-Seeing. He's a 4/5 Sphinx that costs 3 blue, and he has flying. 2 in blue, tap to draw 2 cards and discard 1 card. Whenever it deals damage to an opponent, you may reveal your hand. If cards with at least 6 different converted mana costs are revealed this way, that player loses the game. He's my favorite blue commander because he is funny. This is the one that I want to build the most. I don't have a blue deck yet, but he will be my first. You want cards that remove your hand limit, play lots of spells with different converted mana costs, lots of draw spells to get you even more cards, and lots of equipment to make him hard to block. This way you can ensure that he deals combat damage to a player, and with all the draw spells we run in this deck, you're almost guaranteed to have 6 different converter mana costs, so when you hit them, they will cry.
And after 3 somewhat solid commanders, for my number 1, we're gonna jackknife right back into the weird with Fibblethip, the Lost. He's a 1 and a blue for a 1/1 homunculus, which is just so much fun to say. When he enters the battlefield, he draws you a card, but if he enters the battlefield from the deck, he draws you 2 instead. However, if anything targets him, he runs and hides and probably cries inside the deck. He's just so weird. He's just... I don't have any other words. He's a unique commander to build around, and I love a challenge. He's comically annoying to deal with. He's comically annoying to look at. He's probably comically annoying to talk to. And at the end of the day, I just want a deck where I'm constantly bringing him back out of the deck, much to his dismay, throwing him onto the battlefield, and drawing more cards that are eventually going to let me pull him out of the deck even more. I want a deck that is going to let me look at my opponent and go, is this loss?
Thank you all so much for watching. We'd love to hear from you what your favorite blue commanders are in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, please consider subscribing and ringing that bell for notifications. Have a nice day, Planeswalkers.